Okay. Hello. Good morning, everybody. We are live. We are recording. Today we're going to talk about black tourmaline or chalor. It's another word for it. Chalor. Sh- Chalor. Black tourmaline is the nope crystal. Nope. I'm not dealing with your chaos. I'm not dealing with your negativity. I am not dealing with your bullshit. Okay. Black tourmaline is the one that we use to bring calmness into our worlds and get some grounding going on. Um, I used to have this everywhere. I found a place and I ordered a whole bunch of it, and I had chunks of it sitting everywhere because my world was very chaotic. And I guess it really did its job because my world is not so chaotic anymore. And I do still have some black tourmaline sitting around, but not in the quantity that I did. So put it everywhere. Put it by your door to help gather other people's bullshit before they come in. Right. Put it by your bed to help pull all the chaos out of your brain so you can sleep calmer. Put it anywhere things feel heavy and let it pull some of that heaviness out of the air. Um, Tourmaline, well, there's multiple types of tourmaline. So today we are specifically only talking about black tourmaline, okay? Just note there are various other types of tourmaline. Um, Sometimes it can have some brown and stuff in it, but it's a fairly hard rock. It's 7.5, 7 to 7.5 on the Mohs scale. So see how it's got these striations in it? And most of the time, you'll find it in raw chunks with these striations that run down these grooves. I can't really see my screen, but I think, yeah, you can see how it's got these striations that run down, right? That's thought to be what pulls the energy out of the air, pulls that negative energy through those striations. So it's just grabbing and pulling, right? So you can direct those striations too. So like if I know I'm being really negative and I need to pull that from myself, I'm going to want to place my crystal where the striations are vertical with me, horizontal with me, not uh perpendicular, right? Perpendicular to me so that they're pulling it away. And so my striations are running this way. I'm right here. That allows that pulling of that energy. So that's going to pull that chaos away. Um, it can go both directions. So, if you're wanting to keep that energy away from you, you would want to set them all around you with the striations going out, and that's going to help that energetic exchange be drawn, that chaos energy go away.
Will it
Um,
matter if it has a point?
well, if it has a point, so your points are going to be more amplified. So that's going to direct your energy more, right? So if you point that away from you, that's going to pull negative energy from you and away, right? If you flip it around, it's going to pull negative energy and direct the good towards you. So so you're wanting to protect your energy coming in, you're going to want to point it towards you. That way the energy coming in gets filtered out. Did that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, can I throw it at somebody to make them their energy better?
No, but the energy coming away from them is going to be better because it's coming towards you. So if you wanted the energy coming out of them to be better, you would place it closer to them and pointing away so that the energy that they are projecting is coming out less chaotic. So it's going to absorb your towers. Those points point towards the flow of the energy coming out. So they don't point towards energy coming in, they point towards energy going out. So if you were to point your tourmaline toward yourself, you are going to be directing filtered energy towards yourself that's been filtered through that. Think of it as a filter, it's going to filter that energy and pull all that chaos out and make the energy coming to you more calm, less chaotic. So, um, and you
Thank
can
you.
kind of do that too. Like this piece kind of has a naturally pointy end on it. This side's a little more pointed than this side is. This side's a little more rounded. So, it doesn't even have to have like a carved point on it. It can just kind of be what you feel. Like I feel like the energy is going to flow this way through this crystal. So it's going to point towards me this way. So that energy coming towards me is going to be more calm. I'm protecting the energy coming in. If I turn it around, now I'm protecting you guys. My energy going out is going to be more calm. If I'm feeling chaotic, I want to point that towards you so that my energy comes out less chaotic, more grounded. And that's really for all your points. Points direct energy. So you got to think about it like a wand sort of, wherever that's pointing, that's the forwarding energy that's coming out of that point. um it is black tourmaline is a harder rock, so it's a 7 to 7.5 on the Mohs scale, which means if you put it with a lot of your other rocks, right, like if you have a piece of tourmaline and a piece of selenite in your pocket, the tourmaline is going to scratch the selenite up. It's going to scratch up your calcites. It's going to scratch up a lot of your other rocks. Kyanites, oregonites are softer. A lot of things are softer than tourmaline. It's getting kind of higher up there on that hardness scale. So be mindful of where you store it, right? It will break fairly easy. It'll fracture fairly easily because of those striations if you drop it on a hard surface. Those striations can also be indicators of like cracks and natural cracks in the material. Absolutely. Keep you more grounded so you don't feel so hectic and chaotic during, when everything's going on. I would wear a piece of it as a do you have one of those tumble chains? Do you have a little piece you can put in a tumble chain for the day? And kind of keep it by your heart chakra so that relax, calmness. So we do want to be mindful of where we're keeping our tourmaline because it can beat up our other rocks a little bit. It has that vitreous, um, kind of almost a resiny type luster to it. Almost looks polished. It's naturally like that though. Tourmaline doesn't require a polish, but a lot of it will look polished just once it's cleaned up. It's got that kind of lustrous little shim to it, and it looks like it's polished. Um, you cannot see through it. It's very opaque. Once in a great while, you'll find some black tourmaline that's got a little bit of clarity to it. It's going to be very slight and it's going to be towards the edges. You'll never be able to just see all the way through a piece of tourmaline. So once in a while, you'll find a piece that has like one of these little shards kind of sticking up, and it just isn't a real dense piece of that tourmaline, and you might be able to get a little light through it, but you'll never be able to just shine a light through your whole rock. Um, Most of the time, it is in chunks. So there is some tourmaline that gets carved and everything, but most of the time it comes out of the earth in big chunks like this, bigger pieces, littler pieces. That's pretty much how it comes out of the earth, and all these random pieces, and they just wash it and ship it. So it doesn't take a lot of processing. It's one of the really easier minerals to mine, right? Um, Black tourmaline is boron rich silicitate mineral. Yeah, eggs and black tourmaline. I love that. I like eggs. So it is found all around the world. A lot of the black tourmaline I order Comes from Africa. So, I recently actually the last batch I got, that came from Brazil. So, and I will say that the tourmaline I usually get coming from Africa, is a little bit shinier and better formed than the stuff coming from Brazil. The Brazil pieces look a little more, for lack of a better vocabulary, I guess, they look just a little more raw, and the ones that I get from Africa look a little more polished. So kind of interesting. I'm not sure that that holds true for all mines that are in those areas, but that's just my experience. So, but it does
On the
come from all
bottom,
around the world. What, Darla?
on your little thing that you sent us with the things, it says Madagascar and Maine.
Madagascar and Maine. Yeah.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know if you read the disclosure or not, but I did not make those cards. I had zero input on those cards. That is a set of
Right,
cards I purchased. So,
right. I
what
just
does that mean?
that
That probably means those are two of the places it came from. Yeah.
okay.
But
I
but if
just
they
wondered
say
if like
some yeah, if they say some
it's like
bizarre off
four
the wall
places.
shit, that's not on me.
I have
They're
some that has mica on it. Is that bad or good? What
It's
does
a
that
rock. They're all
matter?
good. No. I mean, it's a rock. They're all good. So if it's got some
It's
mica
not
on
gonna
it,
stop the issue I need because I'm putting it in.
yeah, use it. You got it. It'll be perfect. It's a decently dense rock with a density of 3 to 3.3 grams per centimeters cubed. She's got that, like we were talking about how it can fracture. That's considered an indistinct or a poor cleavage. So it won't necessarily break the same way every time. Good morning, Corby. I didn't see you sneak in. You need some? Yeah. I think you might have some in your basket over there. Um,
Who needs some?
Corby. Corby.
Ah,
So tourmaline is one of those protecting grounding rocks, right? Um, it can help you. So remember our intentions. We want to tell our rocks what to do. We want to tell them what we need so they can support us better, right? Um, but tourmaline's favorite things to do are to protect your space. So I like to have a bubble around me, and I like to have a bubble around my home and my environment. And it's interesting, the more you start to work on your bubble, the thicker the bubble becomes. And before you know it, other people will start to notice this too. They'll be like, it seems like there's a bubble around you. And I'm like, that's because there is. Stay out of it. Right. And um so tourmaline is one of those rocks that I like to use to start to establish that bubble. I will go around when we first moved here, I walked around the perimeter of this property, not the whole property, but my house and our yard where we were starting at, right? And I just dropped chunks of tourmaline in a big circle all the way around the property. And then I asked that tourmaline to ground and protect our home. Okay. Ground and protect our home. And so what happens is I just made a circle base around my home for that tourmaline to start enacting that bubble. Then I went and I took all my little chunks and chips and I save all the dust and stuff that I gather and all that selenite and tourmaline dust. And I had some rose quartz dust and I did the same thing. I walked around and I sprinkled it in my circle. And I said, please help the tourmaline keep my home happy, healthy, and well. Keep it safe and protected. Keep all these tornadoes that are dropping out of the sky all around me off of my property. Keep them away. Keep us safe in this bubble. And, it's worked really well for me for a long time. So I highly recommend trying that out. And you will notice subtle shifts in your environment and in your space after you start enacting that bubble. You'll notice that the air starts to feel lighter. You'll start to feel more comfortable just out of randomness. You'll be like, I don't know why, but I feel so good today, you know? and um you'll notice just very subtle things that you'll notice. Oh, nobody's yelled for 3 days. How'd that happen? Or oh, I normally would have got mad nobody took the trash out for 2 days, but I didn't even notice. Because is it really something to argue about, you know? Especially when everybody's busy and has a million things going on, or are we really gonna argue and get upset with each other over somebody not taking the trash out? That's all piddly little stuff that really shouldn't matter in the bigger picture. And what happens in our worlds is those when there's a big problem, all the little problems turn into bigger problems and the big problem doesn't get addressed. So that's when things like the trash not getting taken out turns into a problem, right? Because there's actually a really big problem that we're not wanting to address. So instead, we're going to pick a fight over the trash not getting taken out because we're avoiding the actual big problem. So we make little problems big ones, right? How dare you not take the trash out? That was disrespectful. It's your job. Da 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 da. So you'll notice those subtle shifts like, whoa, nobody's argued over taking the trash out for 3 days. That's amazing. You know what I mean? And those little problems will be less noticeable because you're not holding all that stagnant, heavy energy that allows the little problems to be big ones, right? Now, again, important to remember rocks and crystals can't just fix your life tonight. All right. You got to put in the self work and you've got to, I know it'd be great if they did, but faith without action is dead. So, you can believe in it, but you also have to do the work. You've got to do the work. Um, but tourmaline's there to make it less stressful to do.
I have a question. Um,
Sure.
with the when you put it like by your doors, where's the best place to put it? Like because like I don't have like ledges or you know what I mean, like things. What's the best? Where's the best place to put it by the door?
Well, so I mean, that's going to depend on your space, right? If you don't have any shelves or anything like that, you could maybe put it in like a tumble chain and thumbtack it or sticky tack it, so it's hanging by the door. Or you could just set it on the floor right there next to the door. You could put it up on the seal on the top of the door.
Oh,
Um, you could sticky tack it to the door. Or, if you don't have a lot of tourmaline, you can just keep it by you. It doesn't necessarily have to be by the door. Um, your intentions really tell the crystal what to do. So say this is the only piece of tourmaline I have, right? I obviously can't take this piece of tourmaline and put it everywhere and make a big circle around my house. So, but what I can do is I can take this tourmaline inside and I can sit down in my chair in the middle of my house and I can do the same thing. I can say, okay, please protect my home. Please build a bubble around my home. Please protect all the energy coming into my home. Please allow this place to be less hectic and less chaotic.
okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Um, and also, if you don't have any, you can simply imagine it. Okay. Remember that rocks and crystals come from the earth and the earth is connected all the way around. It is one solid ball. So even if you don't have a physical piece of tourmaline under your feet in the ground, there is tourmaline. It exists. It is connected. We are connected. So you can do the same thing by sitting there and closing your eyes and just talking to the tourmaline energy and saying, hey, I don't physically have a piece of tourmaline right now, but please, tourmaline, can you help to make my space feel more calm and less hectic, more grounded? Can you put my bubble up and help to protect me? Um, because you can draw that energy from the earth that you're standing on. Um, tourmaline, you can wash it in the sink with some soap and water if you need to. If you get it wet, make sure you get it dry. right? Do not leave any water residue in there. Obviously, our first option is not ever to just throw all the rocks in the water, right? Let's try some smoke cleansing, sound cleansing, full moon cleansing. Put it on a piece of selenite for some cleansing. But if you need to wash it, wash it. Just make sure you get it dry. If you get it wet, make sure you get it dry. So this is another good one. So this is when you're in a moment, when you're having a moment, right? Because that's a thing that happens. You've got a moment, you're stressed out, things are hectic around you, and you just need to get back to your calm center self. All right. That doesn't mean your fixed self, your healed self, or anything else. You just need to stop that spiral, right? Stop the spiral. Black tourmaline can really help you with that because it can pull that chaotic energy away. So when you're feeling extra, when you're having those extra moments, that's a really good time to turn to your black tourmaline. A really good practice is to ground, right? If you can go outside and do this in the grass, that's going to be the absolute best way to do it. If you can't, do it where you're at. Remember, we're still on the same earth. So, you know, the whole thing is meet you where you're at, right? The crystals, the energy, the universe, us, you, we're going to meet you where you're at all the way around. So if you live in an apartment building in downtown New York and the closest piece of grass is, 3 hours away and that's just not practical, that's okay, girl. Put your feet on the ground in your apartment up there on the 77th floor and do it. We're going to meet you where you're at. So if you can go outside, great. Please do. Go outside, take your socks off, take your shoes off, put your feet in the grass and just move your feet around in the grass. Hold your piece of tourmaline and just rub it back and forth in your hands. And just allow that energy to really let those roots in that earth really pull all that stress out of you. And it's going to ground it and send it all back down into the earth for the earth to reabsorb and kick out again, hopefully in a better energetic state, right? So your tourmaline is going to help with that. And again, if you don't have it, just talk to that energy. It's there. It is in the earth. Um, but just, sitting or standing, just putting your feet in the grass and just close your eyes and just imagine all of that stress just flowing down into the earth. And you can kind of start to feel it if you're sitting there quietly and you're doing that and you're thinking about that, right? And you're meditating on it would be another word, but or praying on it that the earth is going to reclaim all of that negative energy. The earth is going to start pulling that energy down and you can actually kind of feel it. The bottom of your feet will start to tingle a little bit and you're like, "Oh, that's cool." You get that little tingly feeling, and like I'm doing it right here on the deck. I'm not even down in the grass and you can feel it. It's like, okay, that nice little tingle feeling. And it starts to feel good. And then you start to slowly feel that calmness kicking in and the stress going down and the calmness kicking in and just kind of moves all the way down through your body. What else about tourmaline? I think that's about it for tourmaline. Tourmaline's amazing. It's a good one to hold when you gotta have hard conversations. Helps you keep grounded. Um, yeah, that's about what tourmaline's all about. Your box breathing, you can use your box breathing with tourmaline. That's in your survival kit. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4 in through your nose. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Repeat, right? Box breathing with your tourmaline can be very helpful.
Is the survival kit the one that I asked if you would put a PDF in there?
It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
I printed it out yesterday.
Yep.
Okay.
I did it. I did. I got it done for you.
Because I
I had
didn't
to
get that.
redo it because my original PDF is not anywhere to be found. I'm guessing I just didn't save it. So I had to redo it. So hopefully I redid it appropriately.
Yeah, because I don't have the survival kit, and I know I asked for that because, yeah, I'm out
Mhm.
here trying to survive, man.
Absolutely. Yep. So that is all for Black Tourmaline, guys. You got your journal prompts in there. Our affirmations. I am grounded, protected, and in my body. Another very, very important one. I release what is not mine to hold. I release what is not mine to hold. Very, very important. Especially just some of the things we've all been talking about going on in the worlds of this little tiny little group we have right here. I think everybody really needs to pay attention. I release what is not mine to hold.
That kind of
So,
goes with this
yeah. Yeah.
right here. Fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem. I release
Just
what is not mine to hold.
only what's mine.
That's right. Yep. My energy is my own and I choose peace. So, um, I think that's it. Let's end the recording, then we can chit chat for a little bit. Any other Black Tourmaline questions, real quick, before we? Everybody good on Black Tourmaline?